Have you ever felt like your mind just won't shut up? Like there's this endless stream of thoughts, doubts, fears, memories, plans, constantly pulling you in every direction? Here's something that might change everything. You are not your thoughts. Let that sink in for a moment. You are not the anxious voice. You are not the self-judgment. You are not the constant overthinking. What you truly are is the one who is aware of those thoughts. In this episode, we're going to explore what it really means to detach from mental noise and how that shift can bring you clarity, peace, and power. Let's begin. The illusion of thought equals self. We grow up believing a powerful illusion that we are our thoughts. From a young age, we start to identify with the voice in our head. The one that says, I'm not good enough. What if I fail? They probably don't like me. And because these thoughts sound like us, we believe them. We absorb them. We let them define our reality. But here's the truth. You are not the voice. You are the one who hears it. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're sitting on a bench watching cars go by. Each car is a thought. Some are fast, some are slow, some are chaotic. But you are not the cars. You are the one watching from the bench. You're just observing. That's the same with your thoughts. They come and go. But you, the observer, stay still. Think about the last time you were deep in thought. Maybe you were replaying a conversation or worrying about the future. But then, suddenly, something pulled you out of it, maybe a noise or a sensation. And in that moment you realized, oh, I was lost in thought. That realization, that awareness, is who you truly are. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And Eckhart Tolle, one of today's great spiritual teachers, says, "The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the thinker." It's not that thoughts are bad. They're tools, like a hammer. But if you walk around with a hammer all day, everything starts to look like a nail. Your mind is a servant, a powerful one. But it becomes a tyrant when you forget your true role, the one who chooses what thoughts to follow and which ones to let go. So why does this illusion of self as thought trap us? Because the mind is designed to solve problems, even when there aren't any. It replays the past. It predicts the future. It builds scenarios that may never happen. It creates fear, attachment, ego. And the more we believe it, the further we drift from peace. That's why we suffer. Not because of what is happening, but because of the story our mind tells about it. The good news is, you don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to engage every mental drama. You can observe and let go. That's the shift. From being lost in thought to being present with awareness. And once you start to see this, even just once, you open a door to a whole new experience of life. The power of awareness. So if you're not your thoughts, then who are you? You are awareness, the silent presence behind the mental noise, the space where thoughts appear and then disappear. Let's go back to the metaphor. Imagine your mind as the sky and your thoughts as clouds. Some clouds are light and harmless. Others are dark, heavy, and stormy. But no matter how many clouds pass by, the sky remains untouched. That's you, the sky, not the clouds. When you become aware of a thought, and simply notice it without judgment, you reclaim your power. Because awareness creates distance. And in that distance, there's freedom. Here's the key. You don't have to fight your thoughts. You don't have to suppress them. You just need to observe them. Try this right now. Take a breath. Notice the space between this sentence and the next. In that pause, that silence, there are no thoughts, just presence. And now a thought might arise. Maybe something like, this is weird, or, is this even working? That's okay. Just notice it. Let it come and go. You've just stepped into awareness, into that peaceful place behind the mind. The more you do this, the more you start to see your thoughts like passing scenery, not like facts carved in stone. And this awareness doesn't just help with negative thinking. It helps with overthinking, anxiety, self-doubt, and even ego. Because those things only have power when you're unconscious of them. Have you ever noticed how, when you're truly present, like watching a sunset, listening to music, or holding someone you love, the mind goes quiet? That's awareness in action. It's not something you have to create. It's something you return to. And the beauty is, awareness is always available. It's never far away. It's just hidden behind the noise, like the sun behind the clouds. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling in thought, pause, breathe, observe, and remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness watching them come and go. Practical tips to detach. Now that you understand the illusion of thought and the power of awareness, let's make it practical. Here are some simple, powerful ways to start detaching from your thoughts in everyday life. 1. Name your thoughts. When a strong thought shows up, like, "I'll never be good enough," or "What if they judge me?" just label it. Say to yourself, "That's a fear. That's self-doubt. That's planning. That's judgment." This tiny act of naming breaks your automatic identification with the thought. You go from being in it to observing it, and that shift gives you space and power. 2. Use the breath as an anchor. Your breath is always in the present. Your thoughts live in the past or future. So when you focus on your breathing, even just a few deep, conscious breaths, you return to the now. Try it. Inhale slowly. Hold it. Exhale gently. Notice the sensations, the rise and fall, the air moving through you. The moment you truly pay attention to your breath, you're no longer lost in thought. You're here. 3. Create micro pauses during the day. You don't need an hour of meditation to detach. You just need a few intentional pauses. Set a reminder on your phone to stop every few hours. In that moment, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Is this thought helping me or draining me? Can I just watch it without reacting? You'll be surprised how much mental clutter falls away in just 30 seconds of awareness. 4. Practice the observer mindset. Try this simple exercise. Imagine that your thoughts are being spoken by someone else, like a character in a movie. When you hear a thought like, "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, would I take advice from someone like this? Suddenly, you see how irrational and repetitive some thoughts are. And when you stop taking them so seriously, you stop suffering. 5. Meditation, even just 5 minutes. You don't need to be a monk. Even 5 minutes a day of sitting in silence, just watching the breath and noticing thoughts without judgment, can rewire your brain. Think of it like going to the mental gym. Each time you sit and observe, you strengthen the muscle of awareness. It's not about stopping thoughts. It's about not getting carried away by them. Closing this section. Remember, detaching from your thoughts doesn't mean becoming emotionless or numb. It means becoming free. Free to feel deeply, but not be controlled by those feelings. Free to think clearly, but not be trapped by the mind's stories. Every time you observe a thought instead of reacting to it, you take one step closer to peace, to clarity, to who you really are. Reclaiming your inner peace. So you've learned how to step back from your thoughts, to observe instead of react, to anchor into the present instead of getting lost in mental noise. But what happens when you truly begin to live from that awareness? What unfolds is something profound. You begin to reclaim your inner peace. That peace was never lost. It's not something you have to earn or create. It's always been within you, but it was covered by layers of thought, fear, and distraction. When you stop identifying with every passing worry, you begin to feel lighter, more centered, more like yourself. This is the kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. It's not about having a perfect day or a quiet environment. It's the calm that remains even in the chaos. And here's something powerful. As you return to that inner stillness, you stop trying to control everything. You realize, you don't need to win every argument. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be present, to be conscious, to be rooted in what's real, not the mind's endless commentary about life, but life itself. And from this space, your actions begin to change. You start responding to life instead of reacting. You start speaking with intention, not insecurity. You start choosing love over fear. This is the foundation of real growth. Not adding more, but removing what's false, the stories, the noise, the mental clutter, until all that's left is you. And that version of you, still, clear, unmoved by mental storms. That version is powerful beyond belief. Spiritual traditions across time point to this same truth. In stillness, we remember who we are. Final reflection. Take a moment to pause and just breathe. Let everything we've talked about settle in. You are not your thoughts. You are not the fear, the judgment, the worry. You are the awareness behind it all. The silent presence that sees clearly, even when the mind is loud. The next time a thought tries to pull you into anxiety, shame, or overthinking, remember, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to argue with it. You can simply observe and let it pass. This is not about becoming perfect or fixing yourself. It's about waking up to what's always been true. That behind all the noise, there is peace. There is stillness. There is you. Let this be your practice. To return to awareness. To come home to yourself, again and again. Because when you stop believing every thought, you start living from a deeper truth, a freer, wiser, and more powerful version of you. Thank you for being here. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need it too. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who sees,